Hi children, this is Venkatamna. Now today's class, 8th class physical science. 8th class physical science, which chapter? First chapter, that is force. First chapter, force. Now we are discussing regarding application of concepts and higher order thinking we have to discuss. Application of concepts. Application of concepts. We are discussing that one. In that application of concepts, we already completed few questions. Now, remaining questions let us complete. Already we completed 2. Now we have to go for even reflection of concepts also completed. Now we are doing application of concepts. What are the concepts which we discussed in our what we call the lesson theoretically, or what we call the synopsis, whatever we discussed regarding force, types of force, contact force, non-contact force, examples of contact force, examples of non-contact force, and what is the effect of force on the motion of a moving body, and what is the effect of force on the shape of a body. Is there any change in effect of force with contact area? All that we discussed. Now we reflection on concepts also we did. Now we are in a situation where we are discussing regarding application of concepts. In the third one also completed. Now third one. A man stands, okay, the third one completed. Now let's go for fourth one. The surface area of an object is 20 meters square. The surface area of an object. Surface area of an object is 20 meters square. So contact area is 20 meters square. And force is of how much force is applied? 10 newtons force is applied. Then what is the pressure? Now what is the pressure formula? What is the pressure? Thrust by area or force acting normally on a given area. So pressure is equals to force by area. Force by area. So we can write force A is a area and F is a force. So contact area they give first of all how much? 20 meters square. Then force is how much they give? 10 newtons. What they are asking to find? Pressure they are asking to find. So what is the formula we have to use? Pressure is equal to force by area. Then pressure is equals to what is the force? 10 newtons. What is the area? 20. So 0 cancel. Half. What is it? Newton by meter square. Newton by meter square, which is equals to half Pascal. Why? 1 Newton by meter square. 1 Newton by meter square is equals to Pascal. Is equals to Pascal. Therefore, pressure exerted on that object is equals to how much? 0.5 Pascal or half Pascal. By using the formula pressure, we have done this one. So like that, when we are check whether these are in same units or not. Meter square is in MKS system or in SA system. Newton is also in SA system. Since both the magnitudes are in same system, that's why we will call it as a, we will mention it as a, we will go for applying the pressure without any conversion. Then pressure is equals to, how much we got now? Pressure is equals to, pressure exerted by that object is equals to 0.5 Pascal. 0.5 Pascal we will represent as a PA. Pascal, PA. In that way, we can able to write that one. So this is about application of concepts. So questions. Now we will go for higher order thinking. Higher order thinking questions. Little bit what to call we have to think about these things. Higher order thinking, which we'll call HOT. In that higher order thinking, now what they're asking now, if you push a heavy box which is rest, one box is at rest. We will push to move that, to change the state of rest to state of motion. Then you will exert force. We will exert force on that heavy box to move. Now, when it is going on sliding, when it starts sliding, now whether how much force we exerted, how much force we applied at starting level, will it require same force while it is sliding? No, obviously no. We will feel little bit easy. Only first to change its state of rest to state of motion. First to change the state of rest to state of motion, it is what to call, it's tough. Once it starts sliding, no need to apply same amount of force on that object. Why? Why they are asking question. So I will repeat the question once again. Just listen here. If you push a heavy box which is at rest, you must exert some force to start its motion. Yes, it started its motion. However, once the box is sliding, you apply a lesser force to maintain the same motion. Why we require lesser force compared to change the state of rest to state of motion? Because once the body is in motion, it will continue in the state of motion. Starting, we have to overcome all net forces, totally net forces acting on the object. Now, once when it starts moving, that now the net force is not zero. Suppose now this board is there. If you going on apply force, the net force acting on the board is zero. That means many forces are acting on the board. Its weight is going on, dragging downwards. Normal force is applied by the floor, and what we call behind this board, we have a wall. Wall is going on, try to apply normal force, and we are trying to pushing this board towards the wall. So, but all these forces are equal in magnitude, but opposite in direction. They are all equal in magnitude, but opposite in direction. As a result, the net force acting on this board is zero. As the net force is equals to zero, then it is at rest position. Then what will happen? We have to overcome all these forces. To overcome all these forces, we need to apply more force. Once we exert heavy force, then this force will be more than that normal force. Now its net force is not what we call zero. Once the body starts moving, the net force is not zero. That means if you apply little more force, it increases the speed of the body. We discussed that whenever a body is in one direction, if net force is applied in the same direction of motion of the body, then the body speed will increase. That's why once it starts sliding, then no need to apply the same force because already it is in motion. So we are applying force in the same direction, but we are not applying force in opposite direction. As a result, to move that object in the same direction, we doesn't require same force, we require lesser force. In that way, we can able to discuss higher order thinking. First one. Now, second one, how do you increase the pressure by keeping, first one is area unchanged, second one is force unchanged. Force unchanged. So what they are asking? Second one, higher order thinking, second one. First one already we completed. Now, how do you to increase pressure? How we can able to increase pressure? To increase pressure how we can able to increase pressure? First one is area should be unchanged. Area is unchanged. If area is unchanged, how we can able to increase the pressure? We know that pressure is equals to force by area. Force by area. Force by area. And we also know that pressure is directly proportional to force. That means if force increases, pressure increases. If force decreases, pressure decreases. force applied on the body, force exerted on the body. If it is more, pressure will be more. If force exerted on the body is less or force applied on the body is less, pressure will be less. We also know that pressure is inversely proportional to the area. That means if area increases, pressure decreases. If area decreases, pressure increases. Now, however, we are maintaining area unchanged. Then what you have to do? If area is not changing, then how to increase pressure? By increasing force. So what you will tell? By increasing force. By increasing force. By increasing force without changing area, pressure can be increased. Pressure can be increased. Pressure can be increased. In that way, when the area is unchanged, we can able to increase the pressure by increasing force. By increasing force, pressure can be without change. By increasing the force without changing area, pressure can be increased. That is the second question, A bit. Second question, A bit. Once just go through, then next if you glance that one, if you go through that one, then you will go for B bit. Now, let us go to the B bit. B bit. What is the B bit now? What is the B bit now? Here in this case, force should be unchanged. Force should be unchanged. So B bit is fourth, second question, fourth bit, B bit. Force should be unchanged. Force is unchanged. Force is unchanged. If the force is unchanged, means what you have to do? We already know that one. Now pressure is inversely proportional to area. That means pressure increases when area decreases. Then pressure decreases when area increases. But to increase the pressure, now what you have to do? You have to decrease the area without changing any force. Without changing any force. So that only you are right. So pressure can be increased. So by decreasing the area of contact, by decreasing the area, contact area We can able to increase the pressure by decreasing area of contact, area of contact. As a result, by since pressure is inversely proportional to area, then for what you call without changing any force, pressure can be increased. In that way, we have a second B, what you call this application of concept. Now, just to go through and try to note down, then we will go for third question. Now, higher order thinking. Now, third question. Higher order thinking, third question. Now, what is the third question? We know that frictional force. What is the use of frictional force? Frictional force is useful to stop or to restrict the motion of the object which is relatively in contact with surface. In contact with surface. That means without frictional force, we can't able to walk. Without frictional force, we can't able to run. Without frictional force, we can't means all these activities we can't able to do. Now they are asking a question. In a hypothetical question, they are asking. What is meant by hypothetical question? If so and so is not there, what will happen? Where the frictional force is useful, we can able to walk and we can able to stop, we can able to run and we can able to stop because of frictional force and because of air frictional force only. What do you call, we can able to lie because or else what do you call, from our body blood circulatory system, blood will going on flow and exert force in opposite direction. Then what do you call, blood may what do you call come out through all the sweat pores because of the friction applied by the air atmospheric pressure. Then we can able to what you call live. That means in all these cases frictional force is necessary. But in some cases frictional force is evil. Where while whenever it is hard to ride a cycle chain, surface will become hard. Then it is not easy to ride the bicycle. In that case, frictional it will become evil. Whenever the doorknob is hard to close because of become a what you call rust formation, it is hard to close. Then what you call there a friction will become evil. So they are asking question. Imagine if frictional force is not existing in the universe. If frictional force is not existing in the universe, what will happen? We have to imagine and we have to explain. Suppose if the frictional force is not in the universe or not in the world, if once a body is in one state, suppose if once a body starts in motion, then it can't be stopped. Once we start walking, we can't able to stop. Once we start running, we can't able to stop. Once what you called, whenever we are, because of frictional force only, we can able to walk because if the earth have a gravitational pull which always attract our legs towards earth, then our legs has to stick to the earth. But because of frictional force only, we can able to step out what we call our leg, our feet, and we can able to walk properly. That means if we imagine there is no frictional force existing in this world, then what will happen? Whatever the frictional forces necessary are there, all that activities won't be happen, and mostly once the body is in state of motion, it can't be come to rest. That means there will be no effect of force on the state of motion of a body because no frictional force. Then who will make the ball who is rolling will comes to means will to make the stop because of frictional force. So in this way, frictional force is necessary and frictional force is a will. Like that, we have a higher order thinking questions. With this, 8th class, what they call fourth chapter completed. So let us summarize once. What you discussed in the fourth chapter? What is a force? A push or a pull? How many types of forces are there? Contact force, non-contact force. Which forces will come under contact force? Muscular force, frictional force, normal force, tension force will come under contact force. Which forces will come under field forces or forces at a distance? Magnetic force, gravitational force, electrostatic force will come under forces at a distance or field forces. Because of field, they will be applied without any physical contact. What will affect of force? A force can able to change the state of rest to state of motion. It can able to change the state of motion to state of rest. It can able to increase the speed of motion of a body moving in one direction. It also decrease the speed of motion of a body which is moving in with a constant speed. It also change the direction of motion of a moving body, and also the force can able to change shape of a body temporarily or permanently. Even there is a change in effect of force with contact surface area. In that way, we discussed a few concepts regarding this main concepts in 8 regarding force. So in next session, we can able to start with next lesson. Thank you.